5. We're going to go over paragraph 5A. Paragraph 5 talks about earnest money and option money. A in particular discusses delivery of earnest money and the option fee. So within 3 days after the effective date, the buyer must deliver to the escrow agent. And this is the actual name of the title company, not the agent's name, but you're going to put the name of the title company. Good thing is we have, if you want to go ahead and find a title company that we've used in the past, if you go to your agent roster, make sure you look at the very bottom, go to vendors, then it says title companies. One of my favorite title companies is Patent Title. They're awesome. So you can put Patent Title, Kingwood, and at the address. So you're going to put the address of Patent Title. If it doesn't fit, you want to make sure you put the full thing on the other side. Another way there's some listing agents that may have instructions, maybe title is already open at a different title company. So if you go to MLS and you look at agent remarks, you don't see anything in regards to a title company, you might want to go to attachments. Maybe sometimes they might have instructions, hey, title is already open at XYZ title. So you'll use that. That's completely up to you, okay? It's a negotiation. So let me see if anybody else has anything. You'll see that quite often. And looks like they have attachments. So you see there. Yeah, no real instructions. So you can use whatever title company you want unless again, you go to MLS. And before you start anything, MLS, agent remarks, attachment, and see if there's any other indication given to you or any other instructions given to you from the listing agent. Now, in regards to what title company you use. Now, let me tell you, the buyer is generally who chooses the title company, but that's not always the case. Sometimes there might already be title open. I usually talk to the listing agent. I really am not going to pick a fight over a title company. If the title company is near the property and accessible, let's go ahead and use them, especially if that title company is already open title and already started doing that search. Is only going to make us get to closing quicker, right? However, I do push back a little bit if there's a title company, maybe the house is in Houston and the title company is in Cleveland. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Can we, I go to the listing agent, are you okay with us using a title company that's closer? And if they say, well, no, you just say, well, are you okay? Are your sellers going to be okay paying the fees to have the closer come to them? Because we're just not going to travel that far, right? If they want to take the upper hand and force you to use a place, they should be okay with paying for the comfortability of doing that. If not, they need to have it in a city, a place that's close by the property where everybody can easily get to closing or do what they need to do. But you don't have to physically always come to the title company to close. Contact the title company, see what options they have. Sometimes they'll have somebody come out to you remotely, and whoever, that's an extra fee. I've even seen title companies where they'll mail you out the documents. Everybody has different ways. So reach out to the title company to see what other options your clients, buyer or seller, may have in signing their closing documents. But when I'm utilizing a title company, I like it to be a local title company. And we usually go in person. All right. So again, this is the title company, not the person's name. You may have a specific agent that you do like there. But if you have enough room and there is an agent you like, the more the better, right? So I usually would like to put her name, like Lisa All Day. If you got room to put her name in there, his or her name in there. But if you don't, just literally put the name of the title company, their address, all right? Now here in this particular blank is for the earnest money. Generally, the earnest money is 1% of what you're offering. So in this example, we've been using that we're putting an offer on a home for $500,000, right? So $500,000 and 1% of $500,000 is what? $5,000. That means that you're gonna put $5,000 down payment, okay, is earnest money, all right? And this is for the option period. This is in order for you to have an option period, you have to pay for that right. So you're going to pay an option fee for the option period. The option period is generally, they say about, should be about 10% of the 1% earnest money. So let's say, for example, $5,000 for the earnest money. We're going to say, yeah, let's give them about $500 for the option period, okay? Both the option earnest money and option fee goes to the title company. It needs to be turned in within 3 days. They can be, there's several different ways that the earnest money can be turned in. Check in with the title company to see all the alternative that they can turn in the money. Please understand that yes, the buyer can drop off the money, but you as the agent, you're here to aid them and get this deal done. So if you have to help them out by going to pick up the check, you make sure you drop that money off to the title company ASAP and get that receipt ASAP. You do not hold on to people's money at all. There's also ways where the title company may allow them to wire the funds. If there's any wiring instructions, you make sure before that, because there's a lot of fraud going on, that you make sure that your client isn't just using some random email that they quote unquote got from the title company. Absolutely not. Even if they feel like they got a email from the title company, you call the title company, not using a phone number from the email, but from a number that you know. Get on the phone with your title rep and say, hey, this is so-and-so. I just want to confirm my client wants to wire the funds. We want to confirm this is coming from you. Because guys, wiring fraud is very rampant right now. They're making emails that look just like it's coming from title company, just like it's coming from the agent. When it comes to money, I'd rather be safe, and I'd rather them go get the money from cashier's check money order, because it does have to be certified funds generally. You can check with the title company to confirm, but it generally has to be certified funds, so it can't just be a check. Cashier's check, money order, and things such of that nature. But I'd rather you get that and turn that into the title company, as opposed to wiring it and not being sure and not having time to make sure that it is a secure wire. But if sometimes you don't have a choice, but maybe your clients are far away, I would get on three-way with my title rep, my client, and let the three of us talk it out and make sure we're doing the right thing and the money's not going to the abyss. And definitely do not use the phone number from the email. Use a known number from Google, and something. If you have it saved, use a known number that you know, okay? So this right here, the earnest money and option fee shall be made payable to the escrow agent, which is the title company, so made out to the title company, and may be paid separately or combined in one single payment. So for example, you need to be your client wants to put an offer on this property, they need to be sending a check over to the title company in the amount of $5,500, okay? This right here is buyer shall obtain additional earnest money. Not a lot of people are doing the additional earnest money right now, but this is, hey, maybe they didn't have the whole $5,000 now, and they wanted to put down, the seller agreed to, hey, you could put $3,000 now, and then after we've been under contract so many, then you have to turn in the rest of the $2,000. A lot of people are not doing that right now. So what I would do is put, if it's not applicable, you put NA and you put NA. All right. Now let's talk about this money that you need to turn into the title company. Keep in mind the title company keeps bank hours, all right? So 3 days after the effective date, unless the last day, unless the last day to deliver the earnest money falls on a Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday, the time delivered to deliver the earnest money will extend to the next day that is not a Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday. All right, so let's say, for example, let me get my nifty calendar up. And let's say, for example, we went under contract on the 15th. Let's say February 15th, we went under contract. The contract was executed, we went under contract. So they have 3 days. They have 1, 2, 3 days that it needs to be turned into the title company, right? So it needs to be turned in on the 18th. However, the 18th is the last day and it falls on a Saturday. So the next available day you would think would be Monday, right? But look, Monday happens to be President's Day and they're closed as well. With that being said, they have until the 21st to turn in that money. So they have until today, the end of today, to turn in that money in order to be in compliance with the contract, okay? Let's make it a little easier. Let's say, for example, we executed the contract today, which is the 21st, all right? So you have 3 days. Day one is 1, 2, 3. So they have until Friday the 24th to turn in that money. Does that make sense? The only time that the Saturday, Sunday thing comes into play is turning in the money to the title company, just because the title company does keep bank hours and they're not open on the weekend. They're not open on holidays, okay? Well, bank holidays, let's put it like that. So yeah, I guess that's going to be it for paragraph 5, but just know you have 3 days. It's no one in particular's responsibility to get it turned in, but it's your buyer's responsibility to get turned in, but you as the buyer's agent, you're there to aid them and help them and get it done and get this thing locked in. So yes, whatever you can do to help them, there you go.